people are pretending is about anti-Semitism, people saying this and that. No, this is the ruling class being furious about a new Vietnam, an anti-war protest, and a narrative that's completely gone. They have gone so unhinged. They're even considering banning TikTok because they lost the narrative so bad. We're seeing an increase of authoritarianism because they can't sell their wars anymore. The people who support Israel they are easily the most unhinged political faction in the world. Like, it's weird that people think Hamas, Russia, China. No, it's Israelis who completely rejected the concept of international law. And these people have been winning. They have brainwashed Western society for decades to the point where Americans strongly supported Israel. Even people who supported a free Palestine, we had to be really reserved in our expectations, because a lot of people are like, man, how can we actually fucking undo this brainwashing that Zionists have committed through complex propaganda systems that infected Hollywood, our education system, people being bought up, the ADL, all this propaganda tying anti-Semitism to Israel, tying massive AIPAC money and Zionist money infiltrating our democracy with saying people are pushing anti-Jewish conspiracy theories. All these things was coordinated psyop campaigns that completely destroyed the minds of the West. And now, after 75 years, people are finally snapping out of it. And now we're seeing how people who've been winning this entire time, how they actually handle losing the narrative. On the left, in the West, is about shifting public opinion, which we have done on so many issues, especially on economics, especially among our generation, who is extremely anti-capitalist, extremely anti-imperialist. So now, after losing the narrative for the first time, we're seeing what the Zionists are truly like. Vietnam, it's all right. They're not protesting us. Right, they're not protesting us. Bro, now people are turning against Israel in their war. We really see how much these people are psychopaths, and people knew it. There's this clip of Seth Rogen that Hotspot tweeted out that Seth Rogen, he's like, man, I reject what I used to say. Seth Rogen's like, bro, I'm afraid of Israelis in Zionists. He's a Jew, and he was from Hollywood. And he's like, man, there's a lot of pressure from us to support Israel. And he's like, I'm a Jew, and I'm afraid of these people. And he was forced to walk back those comments because they resurfaced. And that's how it was. You had these people that have been silently being mafia members behind the scenes. They working behind the scenes in the shadows. And now you got the light that is now being shined on them. They're being exposed in our society in a way we never seen before. Well, I got respect for Matt Taibbi, but you got to see how Matt Taibbi is afraid to cross them. Think about how many people are afraid to cross. When that interview with Sabi was very disappointing, to be honest, man, my friends. But think about how many people are afraid to cross. They're like, oh, man, come on, man. I never gone. Oh, yeah, Israel, Palestine. I was just not, come on, man. It's too complicated. No, it's not. I told you guys that's the easiest issue to get. All you got to do is look into it. It's an issue of colonialism. The easiest issue to understand in the world, and people like Matt Taibbi and others pretend they're like, oh no, come on, man. Is it so complicated? No, it's not. You guys are just fucking cowards who are afraid of Israeli fascists. And what does that say that they're afraid of them? Doesn't that prove my point that they're afraid of them? Are they afraid to run hit pieces on Black Lives Matter and do anti-black shit I see all the time in the media? They're absolutely not. That's the entire right-wing media sphere. That you can do anti-black, you can do anti-Latino shit, you can do anti-Muslim shit, but then when you talk about the Zionist genocidal Jew, oh my, come on, man. Come on, man. You don't want to be insensitive, man. And people are not wondering, people are not fucking worried about that. They're not impacting anyone. So now we're seeing some absolutely unhinged shit that's coming from these people who control the narrative for a very long time. Look at this headline that you guys probably already read already. Opinion. I survived the Holocaust. What I'm seeing happening in Berkeley is frightening. What did I tell you guys? Fuck Suzanne DeWitt. there's a special place in hell for you. There's literally no more disgusting person in the world than the people who use the real pain and trauma of the Holocaust. You survived something so traumatic, and now you're weaponizing it so you can have your own Holocaust? You're the most evil motherfucker on the planet if you do that. You're the most evil motherfucker on the planet. You guys understand that we killed 3 million people in Korea? We killed millions in Vietnam. Like, that's like, imagine if you survived the Korean War and then you advocate doing your own genocide. Like, that's what this, it's so disgusting. I would say same thing if you're a descendant of slaves. Imagine if you're a descendant of slave and you have a black person in America talking about how we need to bring slavery back. Nigga, what? It's even absurd to say because you know how bad he would get fucking cooked if someone says something like that. But Jewish people say that shit all the time. They say, can you imagine? Can you imagine if Candace Owens or any black person said something like that? Yeah, we survived slavery, man. We don't need our own slaves. That's what these people are saying. They are so evil. Unbelievably evil. Fuck anyone who would ever weaponize the Holocaust in this way. But they do this all the time. Now we're gonna get into a propaganda segment. I'm gonna show you guys. This is a segment from Morning Joe today, covering Colombia, and you're gonna see how much the ruling class really despise these protests, despise people speaking out against the ruling class. This is on MSNBC, a platform many people consider on the left, but this is pure fascist rhetoric that you're about to hear here. Listen to this.
What's going on the campuses reminds me a little bit about the Vietnam War demonstrations. Okay, it's the responsibility of.
I gotta let you guys know who this is. This is a billionaire donor to Colombia. So MSNBC is not giving a platform to the peace protesters who they're smearing every day. They're giving a platform to the billionaire donors and telling people how awful it is that these peace activists are costing these schools billionaire donors. But you guys think the capitalist central planning model is democratic, is anti-authoritarian? You have academic institutions, education that will be influenced on the whims of not you, but a capitalist, simply because they donate money to institutions. How you guys not see this as deeply authoritarian? The decisions being made by the schools is not set by what's best for the students. It's not set based on what you want. It's based on the donors, and they are saying it out loud. My friends, out loud, they are saying this shit, and people still wonder why I'm a socialist. This is what we talk about when we talk about authoritarian capitalist central planning. If there's not a legitimate central planning model for your education system, it get hijacked by the capitalists. Anyway, I'm gonna let this segment literally says everything for me, so I'm gonna let it continue.
What's going on the campuses reminds me a little bit about the Vietnam War demonstrations. Okay, it's the responsibility of the university to create a safe and welcoming environment. And for many universities, including Columbia, they failed in doing that. But they're catching on. And right now, I think they're trying to do the right things.
That was Omega Family Office Chairman and billionaire donor to Columbia University, Leon Cooperman, moments ago, speaking to CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin about the ongoing political protests at Columbia over the Hamas-Israel war. Cooperman's comments came...
Look how completely unaware about how fucked up that is. That a billionaire capitalist are telling anti-war protesters and threatening them with resources? You have the billionaire class that are revolting against people who want to end war. And they talk about this like this is no big deal. People in the West is so fucking sleep. People in the West is so brainwashed. They will run this segment unironically. And if I had a Marxist class, if I had a communist class, I will show you guys this. Like, they don't even understand how this actually serves us. This is literally fascism, like Anna says here. You have the billionaire class that is controlling our education system. If we oppose war, they will pull fundings, and that will influence the decisions of the universities. And then they come around and say, oh, so you guys see how Columbia, they got it wrong at first, but now they changed their tune. Why you guys think they're changing their tune? Because their donors are pulling funds. So it's not the administrators who make the decisions. It's the capitalist class. You guys see how these capitalist fucking parasites have their hands on everything in this society? And you guys talk about authoritarian China. This mass psychological abuse, as I see one of our commentators say here, is so pervasive in our society. Most people don't even realize how brainwashed they are that they can do a segment like this and they don't even realize what the fuck they're saying. But anyway, let me go back. I'm gonna let it play some more. This is truly unbelievable. This is even worse the second time watching this, guys. Believe it or not. Let's watch it.
A family office chairman and billionaire donor to Columbia University, Leon Cooperman, moments ago, speaking to CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin about the ongoing political protests at Columbia over the Hamas-Israel war. Cooperman's comments came as some billionaire Columbia donors are saying they are rethinking their support of the school amid everything that is going on with the protests.
You see nothing wrong with that.
And Andrew joins us.
You see nothing wrong with that? Of course you don't, because she's part of the capitalist class. I'm begging people to become class conscious and put that first year of politics. Of course she don't care. She wants this system. They're praising this system where billionaires in the elite class determine the moves of elite economic institutions. But I'm sorry, I'll let it continue. I really think the video makes my point a lot.
Now, so
yeah, so Andrew, I agree with Mr. Cooperman. I think maybe they were a little slow to it. I know this will make nobody happy, but I think Columbia is a good example of where they're trying to do the right thing. Now, it was Columbia.
And I'm gonna let it play, but I want you guys to ask yourself this question as they continue, because they're not being vague on accident. They are being vague on purpose because they are fascist, and fascists don't say the quiet part out loud. When they say Columbia do the right thing, what are they talking about? They are talking about the Columbia University administrators who seek the police state on anti-war protesters. Now do you guys see why they won't spell it out for you? So they're going to continue to be vague. But I'll let it play. I just want you guys to keep that in mind.
I think Columbia is a good example of where they're trying to do the right thing. Now, it was Columbia where students took over, during the Vietnam War, students took over the president's office, and everybody thought that was so cool and so noble. Younger people like me grew up, and they're like, what? Mm-hmm. What?
Are you guys serious? Are you guys ratings so bad that you guys assume that no one's watching this shit? They're like, yeah, no, there's no worker that will ever watch this shit, so we might as well say the quiet part out loud. Joe Scarborough just said, as there was Vietnam protests, which everyone knew is a good thing, he was like, man, everyone was saying this shit is great. But me being a young kid, being a young elite student, I'm like, bro, what? This is crazy. You guys are protesting the actions of our government? And yes, that's exactly where he's about to take this, guys. And he's about to turn into condemning these students who protesting their government now. It's unbelievable that they're saying this quiet part out loud to the point where I can just show you guys this shit, and you guys should be radicalized, because this is the shit that Pramila Jayapal watch. This is the shit that Nina Turner watch. This is the shit that all these TYT, MSNBC like people. I know because I watch this shit and they repeat the same shit they say. Now listen to this shit. This is literally one of the most baffling statements I did in season 2. I'll play this part again. They're just saying the quiet part out loud. We just a bunch of rich kids shocking it, just yakking it up.
Took over, during the Vietnam War, students took over the president's office, and everybody thought that was so cool and so noble. Younger people like me grew up, and they're like, what? Mm-hmm. What? I was always afraid to knock on the president of the university's door. There's nothing cool about anarchy and chaos on your college campuses. And
our society lost their fucking mind. You guys realize this is dominant white society right here. You motherfuckers who fuck with us, you guys are the outsiders. I'm sorry to tell you guys. So when you guys wonder why I'm so mean to white America, if you fuck with us, you are the outsiders. You understand? This is the dominant society in our country, where they condemn people who protest our government, and they get mad at people for causing anarchy instead of blaming the government for doing criminal actions, which causes the anarchy. The thing that's supposed to prevent the ruling class from being criminal, if we're being corrupt, is to prevent social unrest, prevent anarchy. But our ruling class decided that they don't have to worry about that because they have police budgets that is larger than every military budget in the world. And then white people, to this day, on God, still speak out against defunded police, as they have a police that is designed to squash dissent, which allows the ruling class to act in viciously criminal ways. So you have people on the right who consider themselves anti-establishment, who's against defunded police, who for giant police budgets, which is designed to squash revolutionary movements. Who the fuck do you guys think gonna protect Nancy Pelosi and the establishment? The amount of Tucker Carlson, dumbass right-wingers who support the police state while being anti-establishment, this is why. The police state is being weaponized on these protesters now. They're giving criminal records to these people now. And there is no feeling from the ruling class to prevent this. Because why do you guys think there are cop cities popping up all over the country? Cop cities are popping up all over the country because they see more people becoming more militant. They're seeing more people becoming anti-establishment. They're seeing young people reject capitalism. You guys want to know the highest demographic that is rejecting capitalism? Young Black people. I reported on this in the early days of RBN. I used to tweet about it all the time. The highest amount of revolutionary action, the anti-capitalist movement, is being driven by young people, especially Black young people and Latino young people. Why do you guys think the right wing is so obsessed with pushing culture wars so white people will be distrustful of RBNs and be distrustful of the Black and brown people of color? They do that because they're trying to break up the class consciousness that is building. And if that class consciousness ever come together and there's mass uprising, because I am a scientist, I'm a Marxist. Marxism is a science. The more the government continue to fail, the more they loot the working class, revolution and dissent is inevitable. Different populations have different breaking points. But America is at that point where people are here in the streets. You have people who hate socialism that are now organizing with unions, right-wingers support unions. We're seeing the establishment rebel in a way we never seen before. So that's why you see Cop City popping up. That's why you see the NYPD in the fucking subways. You seeing the police state ramp the fuck up. And you want to know who's cheering it on right now? White America. White people like, you defund police people are crazy. Nigga, we need giant police budgets. I feel unsafe. We got the highest police budgets that surpass other countries' military budgets. Do you guys know that the NYPD police budget alone in New York alone is 3 times higher than the North Korean military budget? Do you guys, you know the country that we call extremely militaristic? the NYPD gets 3 times more money than the North Korean military. And white people want the police to get more money. And you think you're anti-establishment? Why you think they're ramping up the police state, you motherfuckers? Why you think they're doing that? They're getting ready to quell dissent. They're preparing for the revolution. And you guys see how Joe Scarborough hates the concept of these protests and quote-unquote anarchy. And that's the real reason white America will oppose defund the police. You will never hear this on any other fucking channel. The real reason why white people oppose defund the police, because they're counter-revolutionary who don't want the revolution to come. The Tucker Carlsons, all these people who pretend they want a revolution, they actually secretly want that buffer. The PMC class want that buffer. I told you guys, I'm not one of the motherfuckers that back down from my positions. I'm one of the motherfuckers that will stand on the hill alone. I will stand on the hill alone, defending my position and daring motherfuckers to tell me how I'm wrong. And no one is able to do it. Why you guys think I don't get invited on shows no more? I go on my homie show. I'm gonna be on Nico House and do dissonance. But why you guys don't why you guys don't think I'm on the hill no more? Why you guys think Destiny don't want to talk to me no more? Why you think these Twitter spaces while I lit on fire, they want to avoid me nowadays, bro? I shatter your fucking narratives. But anyway, let's continue this segment, because this segment, you guys see what this segment is bringing out of me. This is truly insane stuff. So I'm gonna finish this segment. I still got a lot of stuff to cover for you guys, but I got a lot of content to cover, so I got this extra credit. Thank God, I'm gonna be with Nico and do distance tomorrow, so I can't do a long stream tonight, guys. You understand? I'm gonna make a hotspot tomorrow. You guys know I'm dropping a hotspot for a fucking week, fam. You know how much work that is. So I wake up in the morning, make my hotspot video, about jump on Nico House show, about eat a fucking burger or something. Then I'm gonna go and do dissonance tomorrow. So I'm gonna have a busy ass night. So I'm gonna try to finish this segment I had planned, but I don't know if I can do a super long stream because I'm gonna be out there all day tomorrow. So let's finish this segment. This segment's gonna get crazy. Wait till this motherfucker chime in. Wait till this fascist. Woo! This is probably one of the fucking craziest segments I've seen in a while. I'm gonna go back a little bit because I ran it for a while. I want you guys to get full context. I might take a little smoke break. So I'm gonna let it play for a bit. I'm gonna come back with some fire. That's what I'm gonna do.
It was Colombia where students took over. During the Vietnam War, students took over the president's office, and everybody thought that was so cool and so noble. Younger people like me grew up, and they're like, "What? Mm-hmm. What?" I was always like, afraid to knock on the president of the university's door. There's nothing cool about anarchy and chaos on your college campuses. And I think sometimes these administrators, I don't know if they came straight from academia. I don't know what their problem is, but they're paid to be adults. They're paid to keep people safe. They're paid to have an orderly environment where students can learn. So I think Mr. Cooperman may be
what
right
Joe
there.
Scarborough is advocating for is for students don't have the right for freedom of speech. He's advocating for the fact that students should not have the right to freedom of assembly. Do you understand the fascists we are dealing with among our society and corporate media?
They're getting it. Better late than never.
Well, look, one of the things that just happened today is they've just announced they've gone hybrid effectively for the rest of the semester as a way of dealing with it. Now, a lot of people have said that means you're not controlling anything. It means you're effectively giving up. You're saying you can't control the situation. Now, maybe that's the practicality of where we are. But I think
I'm sorry I keep interrupting this, but do you guys know why the like Claudine Gays, who they got fired? Do you want to know why some of these campus administrators resisted their cause? Because these campus administrators supported Zionism, but then they quoted the First Amendment. Claudine Gay quoted the free speech, and then she was lynched by the entirety of white America for standing for free speech of her students. She said she find the pro-Palestinian protesters deplorable. But despite the fact that she find the pro-Palestinians deplorable, they have the right to say it. And because of that, she was fucking lynched. She lost her job. She was humiliated and attacked by the entirety of white media everywhere. But I'm gonna let I have a hard time watching this. I'm gonna let it play. I need to fucking finish my smoke break.
The real
I'll go back a little bit. I'm sorry. This video is fuck. This is like pure fascism propaganda here. It's so crazy that this is aired on TV. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna let it play.
Effectively for the rest of the semester as a way of dealing with it. Now, a lot of people have said that means you're not controlling anything. It means you're effectively giving up. You're saying you can't control the situation. Now, maybe that's the practicality of where we are, but I think there is a real question as to whether Colombia is handling this well. I think they're getting better at it, if you will.
What do you mean it? You guys see how they being vague on purpose? What do you mean? Say it with your chest, sir.
But, that hasn't stopped Robert Kraft. Of course, the owner of the Patriots came out. He's an alumnus and said that he is effectively not going to be giving them more money. And there's a whole number, by the way, of major billionaire donors on Wall Street and others who come from Colombia. Warren Buffett, one of probably the most famous alumni. He has not spoken out. I think there's a real debate as to whether the donors should be trying to use their influence, not trying to use their influence. That's another piece of it. And so many of them, frankly, I know a bunch who would like to actually speak out, who say, you know what, I don't want to because I'm so scared that actually my employees will actually either turn against me on this issue or that my customers will turn against me on this issue. So there's a real sort of push-pull going on here in terms of all of it.
One of the elements that Mr. Cooper mentioned in the clip that we just saw and listened to is he referenced the protests and the violence on campuses during the Vietnam War.
Right.
There is a night and day
difference. There's a difference
between that period of time and today. And the night and day difference is factored into it, something called.
What is the difference? You guys, they try because they know that popular public opinion is on the side of the Vietnam War. We are witnessing a modern Vietnam where students of the bourgeois is putting their body on the line for mass genocide being sponsored by our government. Because you guys heard my rants about Vietnam before, right? Most people have no idea the atrocities we committed there. So I'm gonna spare you guys for a sake of time. But we are living through a modern Vietnam, and we're seeing a parallel in history. This is why you study history. I'm a student of history. I love history. I was into history before I was in politics. Now you guys see why? Because there's parallels. We are witnessing a parallel right now. If you don't learn from history, you'll be doomed to repeat it. We are living through a modern Vietnam, and people are tying that together. They're tying that together. So you guys see how the establishment is quick. Like, no, guys. There's a big difference. It's day and night, but I'm not going to tell you guys why it's day and night. We're going to ignore the fact that the mainstream media also demonized the Vietnam protesters. Joe Scarborough just said he hated their guts. You had the mainstream media, you had the establishment call them anti-American traitors. They will smear. There's direct parallels. But you guys see how desperate they are to defend it? I'm going to get to the donor part because if I remember correctly, I believe they're going to get back to the donors and them feeling pressure. But you guys see how laughable that was. There's a part I'm waiting for. Hopefully I remember this right. But let's continue. The explosion of anti-Semitism as a result of all of this. I don't know how you contend with that.
I think the hardest
they're defining anti-Semitism as anti-Zionism, which is despicable. But let's continue.
Right now is how you create a distinction and a line. And this is what I think so many of these administrations are trying to figure out is a distinction and a line between those who want to protest what Israel is doing in Gaza from a policy perspective and those who are genuinely anti-Semitic, genuinely harassing students, genuinely causing such physical problems that it's creating security issues and it's not allowing the students.
Citation needed. Citation needed. You guys see how on my show, I show you guys my work. I show you guys my receipts. They don't. The entire formula is, I say it, believe me, my sources, trust me, bro. They keep saying there's these rise of anti-Semitic violent incidents. what the ADL is using when they say there's a rise in anti-Semitism, and they outline, I'm going to show you guys in this article, is just anti-Israel positions. If you oppose how they're handling the war in Gaza, they consider that anti-Semitism. They consider anti-Israel protests anti-Semitism. But luckily, thank God, it now means nothing. But I'm going to let it continue. Jesus Christ, this is a hard-ass video to get through.
And those who are genuinely anti-Semitic, genuinely harassing students, genuinely causing such physical problems that it's creating security issues, and it's not allowing the students to learn. And it's shocking to me that the administrations can't figure out how to actually deal with this in a meaningful way. And there's, by the way, been a turn on the donor class, interestingly enough, saying that they shouldn't actually be using their influence. That's the other piece of this that I just wanted to mention. Which I find so hypocritical. You have university administration saying, we shouldn't be listening to these donors. Why should we listen to these donors? The truth is that these universities have been selling influence, peddling influence to alumni for the last 50 years.
Yes.
That's the entire product that they're selling. They're saying, hey, we would like you to give us money. And by the way, if you give us money, we're going to allow you to have dinner with the president once a year.
Your stupid kid can get in.
And your kid can get in. If you give us more money, you'll have 5 dinners with the president. Now you say, oh, I don't want to give the money, or I have a view. Talk to the hand. And I think it's just a fascinating development in terms of what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Did he just say what I just think he just said? Did you guys hear what I just heard? This man was advocating for the rights of the donors to speak out and peddle their influence. Because he was like, it's very rich. You guys see that? He was like, it's very rich that these administrators are willing to take their money, but then you guys want them to be silent on these issues? Bro, on MSNBC, bro, they're literally advocating for the donor class and literally getting upset that the donor class feel pressured not to speak out in favor of genocide. They're upset that the speech of the ruling class now has consequences. You guys realize that is what these grown-ass people, these grown-ass children, that is what they were just arguing with their chest. Grown-ass children. These are the people that Mediaite considered to be more reliable than us. Remember, Mediaite ranked us as the most far-left extremist network in America. And then they said they're also unreliable. You want to know who you should get your news from? You should get your news from Morning Joe. I'm going to show you guys what these clowns define as anti-Semitic behavior. Concerns over anti-Semitism rise as Jews begin observing Passover. Let's see what they mean by this. I mean, you know what? One of the things that could cause the rise of anti-Semitism, I don't know, maybe if you would tie Judaism or any religion, any of their faith, to a country that's currently committing genocide, that's committing vast atrocities, and you say that in order to be supportive of Judaism, you must be supportive of Israel. That's how you create anti-Semitism, is tying what it means to be a Jew to Israel. And I said this many times before, and I will say this on Piers Morgan, if I ever get an invite, CNN, if anyone had the audacity, Zionism made Jews less safe. It silences the free speech of Jews who want to dissent against the state of Israel. And it also put a target on their back to people who may be ignorant and fell for the establishment talking point that Jews support the state of Israel. And as you guys see, Zionism failed in their core premise of establishing self-determination for Jewish people in a Jewish state, because Israel can't even defend themselves without the help of the West. Their mission statement of creating safety for the Jewish people, creating self-determination for the Jewish people, was a complete and utter failure. Objectively. This is what they say is leading to the rise of anti-Semitism. They bring up a single instance of a Jewish man being attacked, which is tragic. This is tragic that this happened. But You want to know where this didn't happen at? A Jewish man was attacked outside of Chicago at a screening of a documentary. Oh, shit, let me put this back up. I didn't mean to close it. He wasn't attacked on a college campus. They brought up one violent instance that happens to one person out of millions. And they're like, see this? You see this? A Jew was attacked. We are the God's chosen people. We should never be victims of anything ever. We are the ones that kill. So I would say any action like this, I condemn. I think this is not, it doesn't help the Palestinian movement. Obviously, it's not tied to the Palestinian movement. But you got to see the desperation. How they got to take one crime out of millions of people. And oh my God, the rise of anti-Semitism. Okay, you guys say it's a rise of anti-Semitism because of one violent instance. That means you guys had it good before. Apparently. Let's continue. Okay, that's actually their best argument that they make the entire article. It's taking just one instant that happened. Once again, that didn't happen on the college campus, by the way. They mentioned one person who said something that is undeniably true. The film director, Jonathan Glazer. Am I a boomer? I don't know. I don't know who this is. So you guys see how desperate it is? They are literally quoting one person. That's what they're doing now. Look at the title of the article, the title of this article. They know most people only read the article. Look at the title of the article, and then look at how unserious the arguments they are using to back up this quote-unquote rise of anti-Semitism. The ADL says, when you look at their numbers, around 60% of their incidents are literally just pro-Palestinian protests. So what if you don't want to just say that because you realize how fucking hacky that is? You got fucking scrape, my friends. You got to scrape to find instances. You got 4 bullet points. This is all you got? This is all you got? The film director, Jonathan Glazer, making claims that Israel's persecution of the Israel-Hamas war is dehumanization. So they quoted one guy who said something that is undisputably true. You had Israelis, you have government officials in Israel that say there are no innocent civilians in Hamas, including the children. That is textbook dehumanization. They are getting upset at people for using words the way they're meant to be used. Do you guys understand the insane fascism that we're living through? Where they're turning up to down, ignorance into strength, freedom into slavery. This is crazy. War is peace. We have the establishment that is launching constant psychological torture and manipulation on their populace. They're saying that there's a rise in anti-Semitism in NPR, guys. This is NPR. NPR said if you say that the Israeli government is dehumanizing Palestinians, you're an anti-Semite? White people, please. What is going on? What is going on? How are you guys not having these uncomfortable conversations? Once again, I told you guys, I cancel people for less. You guys seriously okay with these Zionist scum around you? I can't tell you guys what to do, but I promise to God, I cancel people for way less. You supporting genocide and calling anyone who speak out against, who said that Israel dehumanizing Palestinians, they're denying Palestinian statehood. They're advocating for collective punishment. What are we doing? You guys see how why I'm becoming unhinged? More and more unhinged every single day. Watching people pretend this is normal. I said it on this stream before. I view Zionists, especially in this moment in time, they're Confederate level scum. There needs to be revolutionary action to strip these motherfuckers of all political power by any means necessary. You guys see the ideology of these psychopaths? Speaking out against collective punishment is dehumanization? Now I'm still stuck on bullet point number 2. You want to know another example that this deeply serious article from NPR, you know, the respected NPR? You want to know what these deeply unserious motherfuckers actually said? Once again, I want to read the headlines because they paint a picture that this is actually going to be a serious fucking article. Jason DeRose, look at this white gentleman here. Look at this deeply serious gentleman. Jason DeRose covers religion for NPR News, reporting on ways beliefs shape American public life and the ways American life shapes religious expression. Look how important this guy was. He's an NPR Western Bureau chief, freelancing in California, Washington, Oregon. Look at this deeply serious guy who writing this deeply serious article. You want to know what he quotes as an example of rise of anti-Semitism? Fake accounts on X. Fake accounts on X. And people look at me with a straight face and they think what I do is not serious. I told you guys, I take what I do very seriously. I don't listen to people who try to talk down on my work as a citizen journalist. I take pride in what I do. I take pride in spreading revolutionary energy any way possible. Being a working class journalist, guys, there are people who constantly shit on me for having the audacity to spread my ideas on YouTube. To be a Marxist, to talk about the news. People will shit on me. You guys see how much more serious my content is than the mainstream, than CNN, than NPR? Guys, you can't turn on the corporate media channel without them talking about the Trump trials. Hey, guys, you was a sketch artist. Can you tell me what Trump was doing? Hey, Trump was just kind of standing there in the court. He was kind of nodding off. He kind of blinked to the side. He looked to the side. He gave kind of a convincing nod. That's serious shit. And then people try to fucking talk shit on the RBN. What we do every single day is way more serious than any of these corporate media outlets. And I say that with my chest. And that's not just me. I'm not just talking shit. That goes to all our brothers and sisters. You guys saw the post-duopoly show. Harlan's Media, way more legit than NPR. And this is what we need to start saying. Due Distance, I'm gonna be on their show tomorrow. Way more legit than NPR. I'm gonna be on Nico's house show tomorrow. Way more legit than NPR. Way more legit than TYT. Way more legit than CNN. Can we stop putting these motherfuckers on a pedestal? These motherfuckers are children compared to me. They're not shit compared to RBN. I don't give a fuck what the numbers say. We catching up. Why you guys think they're terrified of me? I told you guys I was at a pro-Palestinian protest. I met an NPR brother who was a good guy. He knew who I was. He's like, hey, bro, you that socialist MA guy. You think they don't know who we are? They don't invite me on because they don't want the fucking smoke. They know what I did to Robbie. They saw me on the Hill. That shit went viral, my friends. They saw me on George Galloway. They saw me on Jimmy. They see me, friends. I was on Destiny. I was on. I've been around. They was like, fuck that. Don't let this brother around no more. You guys know how I feel about the PMC class. I am hostile to the PMC class. I am hostile to the cornball Wesses who praise Alexei Navalny. They are fucking children compared to us. And this is the energy that we need to bring. Fuck this fucking worship of the PMCs. They have been brainwashed. They have studied for years. They have dined with kings and queens. But they're intellectually weak. And that is what I learned over the 3 years of doing this show. Just being in discourse in 3 years, being around these weak PMCs who dance around their horrible positions. They are weak. NPR is weak. You guys heard Morning Joe. We completely fucking clown them every day. This guy, this deeply serious guy, is writing an article talking about anti-Semitism with fake accounts on X. Now you guys see why I popularized the phrase deeply unserious. Everyone started repeating it around 3 years ago. You guys wonder why? I don't need credit. But people start saying deeply unserious around 3 years ago. One whose Twitter account blew up because I kept tweeting that out. Because I say the professional managerial class, the duopoly, is deeply unserious. There's literally no other way to describe it than that. Because look at bullet point number 4. A forum hosted by the U.S. House Education and Workforce Committee at which Jewish students shared first-hand accounts of being threatened on college campuses. These people excuse for being harassed on college campuses is hearing the pro-Palestinian position for the first time in their life. You guys realize how protected these people are? Do you guys realize how authoritarian our society is? Do you guys realize how we completely crack down on the freedom of speech of pro-Palestinian protesters? Do you guys understand why Palestinians are too afraid to advocate for the correct one-state solution because they know they will be met with violence or financial retaliation? So after this iron dome of protection, literally and figuratively here, these people are hearing arguments. They are seeing society shifted against their privilege, propagandized cult upbringing that they lived through for the first time in their life, and they can't handle it to the point where they are having whole ass mental breakdowns.